Okay, so let's look at the worksheet. These problems are designed to give you an idea of the types of things that might come up on the quiz. So the first one pertains to how things get printed. And of course, you won't have a computer in front of you, but let's look at what it's asking. Look at the difference between them. The first one has a comma between them. The second one has a plus sign. And then the third one has a comma with the separator. So if we were to go in and put all of these in here, let's see what we're looking at and why. Okay. I'm going to put an extra print in between these so they'll be separated when we look at them. Get that. So if we look at the code for each of those, okay, a comma puts a space between here. A comma puts a space between anything that you're printing. This is one thing. This is another thing. It could be variables, it could be numbers, it can be words, it can be anything. But a comma always puts a space between what's being printed. Now the plus sign, you'll notice it did not. A plus sign says take these two things and put them together. Now you can only do a plus sign on strings, but when you format a number, you turn it into a string. So that's exactly what it did. And then the other way to do the same thing without the space is to use a comma, but use the separator. So you would need to be familiar with those different ways of printing things and what they meant, because you will have some problems on the quiz that say, what's going to get printed? And I give you the code, and you have to select the correct solution for that print statement. Oh. Okay, so let's look at 2. 2, 3, and 4 have to do with if statements. I can guarantee you that you'll have 1 or 2 problems that have if statements in them. It could be if else, just ifs. It could be any combinations. So let's look at this, for example. Let me take this over here. Okay. So what we're doing is we're entering in a number, and depending on the value of the number, we're doing something with X. Now notice that it's an if, which means only one of these things is going to get true, and it's the first one that is true that gets done, because it starts at the top and starts checking each one, and when one becomes true, it does it and it ignores all the others. So if we looked at it logically, I said if you typed in 50, right? If you typed in 50, if you entered 50 for number, all right, then let's walk down. If number greater than or equal to 3, well, it is, and number less than 7. Well, 50 is not less than 7, so that's out. Remember, an and says they both have to be true. It was greater than 3, but it is not less than 7, so that's out. The next one, elif, number greater than 12. Well, 50 is greater than 12. That's the first one that's true, so it should print 5. Well, you got to put in a number. And it did. It printed 5. When number was greater than 12, it performed that action, and the elif is done. Remember, it's the first one that's true gets done, and then it ignores all the others. Okay? Let's look at the next one. I changed it around a little bit. All right. Now look at the difference. All right. I put an or here. Remember what or is? It says one of these has to be true. One of those has to be true. Okay. Let me comment that one out. We're going to enter 50 again. If I enter in 50, is number not equal to 3? Well, 50 is not equal to 3. That's true. Number less than 7? No, but it was an or. So only one of these had to be true. So I should get 10 printed. And I do. Okay. Remember?
Do you explain what the exclamation mark means again?
Not equal.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it just says the not of whatever you're asking. Yeah. Okay, so then let's look at the third one, because I changed it a little bit. Okay, so this one, now this one is all if statements. All if statements, okay? So this means that it's going to check every one of them, and any of them that are true, it's going to perform. Elif says only one of these is going to get done, the first one that's true. If they're just a set of if statements, it's going to look at every one of them, and it'll do every one of them that's true. So let's look at this. If I enter in 50, the number's not equal to 3, or a number less than 7, or says only 1, so it's going to print 10. Then it's going to say, if number greater than 12, and it is, it's going to print 5. Number less than 0, no, so it won't print that. So I should get 10 and 5. All right. So you're going to want to make sure you understand the difference between if elif and if else, okay, and just a set of if statements. I could foresee giving you 1 or 2, 3 so problems that look similar to this, and I ask you what's going to be printed, and you have to select the correct answer based on understanding what the code is doing. Okay?
No, whenever you.
Pardon? Pardon? Okay. Okay. So when I look in Canvas today, I listed some problems for us to work on. So we're going to work on these problems. So if you look at chapter 2, I want 7, 8, 9, 12 on page 105. So chapter 2, page 105, 7, 8, 9, and 12. So let's look at these. Okay, we can see that 7 and 9 are formulas, so we're pretty familiar with writing formulas up. All right, a car's miles per gallon can be calculated using this formula. Write a program that asks the user for the number of miles and the gallons of gas. So I've got to ask the user for 2 things. Everything we've done has always been get input, calculate, and print some output. So we're going to do the input first. So I want miles. We'll just assume whole miles. We're not going to worry about half a mile or anything like that. If I don't say you have to worry about it, then you don't. And then we wanted gallons. We'll just assume integer on that as well. Okay, and they give us the formula. Miles driven divided by gallons used. Arithmetic is this. This is floating point arithmetic. So my answer is going to have what in it? It's going to have a decimal point in it. And then that's all they asked us to do. And display the result. Okay. Notice that we did input, we're calculating something, and then we're outputting something. I'll say 100 miles and I used 2 gallons. I got 50 miles per gallon. That seems to look pretty good. Okay. All right. We said 8. We're going to calculate tip, tax, and total. Write a program to calculate total amount. We're going to ask the user to enter the charge, and then we're going to calculate the tip and the tax. The tip is 18% and the tax is 7%. Okay. Enter charge. Now, in this instance, it's money because we know we're dealing with purchasing something and we're getting taxes and tips and all of this. So while it doesn't clearly say it should be float, you should know that it would be float because we're talking money. Right? So then I needed to calculate the tip. So they told me that that was 8%. Yeah, and 7 for tax. Okay. Then tax was and then they wanted me to print everything. The total, by the way, would be what? The charge plus the tip plus the tax. And now I need to print all 3 of those. So we'll say tip. So we'll format it. We're going to do the same thing for tax. Same for total. Why I'm putting that in there, I must be used to input. Okay, there we go. And total. That get them all. Sometimes you don't have enough quotes and commas and whatever. All right, let's find out. I'll enter in 35. There we go. Okay. Once again, input, calculate, output. Same thing. Now, when you're looking at problems on the quiz, and I'm saying, which one of these would solve this problem? You want to approach it the same way. Well, we've only done input, output, and input, calculate, and output, so it has to be in something of that format. We said 9. Okay, we've done the formula before. I don't know if we've actually calculated anything with it. So let's turn this into the formula and read in Celsius. All right. I'll just say it's integer as well. And I have to calculate the formula. Celsius 32. Is that what that was? Yes. All right. And print it. Fahrenheit. That's a fairly simple one. I'll say, I don't know, 65. Oh, did I misspell something? Yeah, I did. Celsius. Celsius. What is, or is it Celsius? Oh, gosh.
I had a question. So instead of
Yep.
having to spell the name several times, why don't you just like copy it to where you need the name?
I could. Okay, I could. You mean like this? Just copy it and paste it somewhere? Sure, you can do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, I don't care how you write it. Whatever I will let you do, feel free. Okay. Okay. So I do that. I'll put in 32 and I get 89. Okay, that works. Looks like we're doing good. Okay. All right, and so then I want to come over and what did we say? 7, 8, 9, 12. Stock transaction. Okay, now look how long this thing is. This is like one of those math word problems, but it's not that bad. He's actually laid out everything you have to do. So we have to come in and Joe bought some stock at so much and he paid his broker. Then 2 weeks later, he sold it at so much and paid his broker. And we just have to calculate how much he made on all this stuff. Okay. Hopefully it was GameStop. Maybe he made a lot of money. Okay. So these are pretty simple calculations. There does not say anything about input. So there's no input. Okay. Let's come in. So we're going to, we're just going to say, this is, oh, does it, wait a minute, it says, there you go. Okay. So we're going to say then, what he bought was 2,000 shares at $40. Okay. And the commission for that was 3%. So we're going to have to say the bought commission is bought times 12, right? Then 2 weeks later, he sold them at $42.75 and paid the same commission. All right. All right. So we have all our numbers. What did they want us to do? Now look, I'm just going right down the list and doing exactly what he said. All right, I want to be able to display the amount of money Joe paid for the stock, the amount of commission he paid, the amount so he sold, the amount of commission. So I got to display all these things first. And purchase. Go to the sold amount. Get everything in the right order. I guess we'll find out. Okay. Then what else did they want? Display the amount of money Joe had left when he sold the stock and paid his broker both times. So what's the calculation for that? All right. He's got how much he made. So he's got how much he made. So let's just say how much did he make? So how much he made. And we had to subtract the commission he paid and the second commission he paid. And I'll just do this, even though they're all the same priority. Okay. And print that. profit then. Sounds like I have a parentheses out of whack somewhere. Let's see this for those two.
It's under the SAP. It's like at the end of print, sold, commission, at the end, SAP equals, you're missing a comma there. So the last line of the print statement of sold commission, that money,
Sold
and
commission.
the SAP.
Oh,
So put it,
yes.
there you go.
Yes, yeah. And remember that if you do miss something like that, it never comes back to where it's supposed to be. So it's kind of a trigger that you've missed something somewhere, okay? And then I think they had us do one other thing. If the amount's positive, he made a profit, otherwise he didn't. So we'll put a if profit greater than 0. A profit. Okay, that was one of our longer ones only because it was just a bunch of calculations. There was no input on this one at all. Let's see if it compiles. It did. Let me run it again so I can see it on a bigger. There we go. Yeah. I don't really like this as much. I'd rather have some commas in here. So I can fix that. Okay. I'm going to come in here for all of these. And right before the period, I'm going to add a dot in the format. I'm going to add a comma in the format, not a dot. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. Okay. Okay. If I come and look in chapter 3, I want 11, 12, and 13. So let's go do that. $11, $12, and $13. Okay, so I'm on a bookstore and we're going to give away some free points if they buy some books. That's easy enough. So I got to enter the number of books and I will tell them how many points they got. I'm just going to start that on a new page. All right, so we'll say books equals. Now, books has to be integer because you don't want to buy half a book. And then I've got to come in and I've got to figure out how the calculations are going to be done. Now, there's several ways you can do this. Okay. You could try all separate if statements. Right? You can do elifs. All right. I'm going to choose to do elif. And I'm going to keep this one for the last because that means they didn't buy anything. So I'm going to start my ifs a little differently. I'm going to start with the one with 2, and you'll see why when I get it done. All right. So if books point 5. If books equal 4, I get 15. Now I'm done with all of those, and I'm going to end the else with He didn't buy anything, so his points are 0. Okay. I usually leave the catch-all to the end. Now notice this isn't a range. He either has to buy 2, 4, 6, or 8 books. If he buys 3, apparently he doesn't get any. All right, this is a straight. And you could have done this with straight if statements, several different if statements. Either way would have been fine. Ah, yes, 2 equal signs. Remember that if you want to find out if something is equal to something, it's 2 equal signs. I want to make sure I have all of that. Yeah, okay. Oh, I misspelled int. There you go. Do that. Now, what do we got? Let's say they bought 8 books. Oh, we didn't do very good because we didn't print how many points they got. So now we have to print points. I said 8 and 60. Is that true? 8 and 60. 8 and 60. Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. Let's look at software sales. We have a package we're going to sell for $99, and we're going to give a discount depending on how much they buy. Okay. There's a couple of ways to write this one as well. You could use ranges if you want. All right. I will do something similar to what I did on number 11.
Professor.
Yeah.
So for those books, it's only limited to, like, I guess, the even numbers. What if?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be like realistic if they purchased like 3 books or something, and then be like less than or equal to?
Correct. I don't think he wrote that problem very well.
Okay.
But I will, if I have you do, well, of course, you're not going to write any code on the quiz, but I will be very specific. Okay.
Okay.
It could have been also a thing where, like, you didn't want to introduce too complicated a question this early on.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't make sense, but as far as what they're trying to teach right now, it kind of works.
Yeah. When I first did it, I did what y'all are suggesting, and then I went and looked at his solution. I went, oh, okay, he's not there yet. So, yeah. But I will be very specific, so you won't have that problem figuring out. Yeah. Now, this one, to me, is pretty specific because he's given a range here and everything. So let's write this one up. I'm going to read in the number of packages purchased and then calculate the charge. Let's come over here. So I'll say packages. They have to be integer because we're only going to buy whole pieces of something. And I'm going to start basically at the top, the catch-all, if package is greater than 99, 20%. Then I'll go from there. Do any of that, this discount is 0. Okay. Now you could have used ranges if you wanted. Notice I started at the top coming down. This was like the one where we did for the grades, how to print A, B, or C. Same thing. I started at the top and went down. You could have done ranges, but this seems to work pretty easy. Okay. Then at this stage, I just have to calculate the charge with the discount. So we'll say the charge is how many you bought times 99. Okay. And then the discount charge or savings or something. Okay. is what? Charge times discount. Because we've already stored the percentage. And so the total then is charge minus discount. Total. I think he wants us to print, did you say print everything? Display the amount of the discount and the total, okay. Print this. Okay, format discount savings point 2 is sip. Okay. Let's see how that works for us. I can't see that. There we go. Let's say we purchased 20. All right. So 20 would have been 20%. Okay. 20 greater than 19, 20%. Yeah. Okay. Where's my, there it is. All right. Excellent. And then the last one was shipping charges. These three have basically been the same sort of thing. All right. So shipping charges, we're going to enter the weight of the package and calculate what it is. If I do. Just assume it's whole pounds. We're not going to worry about the other stuff. And I have to figure out what I'm going to charge him based on what he's done. It's the same sort of structure as all the other ones. I'm going to start at the bottom and move up or down, depending on your take. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, if weight oh, doggone it, I do not like this little laptop. It's so sensitive to any movement. Okay, there we go, greater than 2. He's just a plain old $1.50. And then we just print the cost. Get everything? Guess we'll find out. Nope. So I missed another one. Oh, I got an extra one there. And up. No. There. All right. So weight, we'll say 8 pounds. In January, so yep. Okay. Now you would think what he'd really want to know is per pound, right? It says per pound here, but that's not his solution that he provides. If I want per pound, how would I change the code? This would be the per pound rate. I'd have to come in here and I would have to say 8 times cost, right? And then I would print total. A lot of times when authors do these books, they have students do the problems at the end of the chapter. And therefore, you either get it, it's not stated the way it should be, or they don't give the correct solution one way or the other. Yeah. Okay. So I can guarantee you on the quiz, obviously, you're going to have something to do with if-else and if-else's and ifs, because you had those here and you had them on the worksheet today as well. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I think, yeah, that fulfills all the worksheet problems. You'll notice the only thing we're doing this week is working problems. And then, of course, working on homework. Did anybody go to the lab yesterday? Are y'all getting the help at the lab okay?
Yes, sir.
Good. Good. Okay. Now, I opened up the practice quiz again because some people didn't really get it done by Sunday, okay? So I opened it up again for another few days so that you could get some practice with how to use Lockdown Browser and the webcam. Now remember, the quiz is next Tuesday, and you have between 9:30 and 11 to take it, but the quiz does give you 45 minutes. So you have to make sure that you have 45 minutes available within that 9:30 to 11. So if you started at 10:45, you'd only have 15 minutes. So the latest you could start is 10:15 if you wanted the whole 45 minutes, okay? So make sure that you start and give yourself the whole, most people don't even take the whole 45 minutes, but if you want the whole 45 minutes, the latest you could start would be 10:15, okay? But practice doing the Lockdown Browser and webcam so you'll have that ready and you'll know how to do it come test quiz time. All right. Someone had asked, are the only grades going to be the quizzes and the homeworks? And that's true. Okay. Not a problem. It's 10. It's easy to add up to get your grade. All right. Yeah. Now, I placed up on here as well the review for quiz 1, which we're going to go over on Thursday. We will do the quiz for the review for quiz 1 on Thursday. I recommend you do it in advance just to get a hang to see what you can do with it. We're going to do that, and we're going to go over chapter 2 and 3, the true false multiple choice at the end of those chapters, because there's a good sample of the types of some types of questions you could have. We'll also do the short answer as well. So Thursday is nothing more than prepping for the quiz on next Tuesday. Next Tuesday there is no class because the quiz will take, I'll let you have the whole time, even though you only have 45 minutes to take it. You can have it within that window, okay? Are there any questions about the logistics of it all?
I do have a question about the quiz, Professor.
Okay.
So all the questions on the quizzes are going to be multiple choices, right?
Yep. Well, this one right now is. I can't guarantee all quizzes will be multiple choice, but this one coming up, yes. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. If it's not going to be multiple choice, I'd certainly tell you way in advance. Okay, but we don't have to worry about that right now. These are multiple choice. Usually the first quiz isn't all that bad. Okay, most people are not used to being timed, so just kind of get used to that. But 45 minutes is way more than enough to finish 20 questions of multiple choice like this. The only ones that give you pause are the ones like we had on the worksheet, where I give you some code and I say what's going to be printed. Now you can use scratch paper, and I'll put this in the instructions to the quiz. You just have to raise your paper to the camera so I see that it's clean and not previously written on, and then you can use scratch paper for that. Okay. When you think about it, you already know a lot of the things that are going to be on the quiz. You're going to have to do a math problem with integer arithmetic. You're going to have 2 or 3 if-else type things. You're going to have 2 or 3 prints with commas or plus signs or whatever, okay? And then you'll have some terminology type stuff. And those are out of the back of the chapters, which we'll go over on Thursday. All right. Most people don't have too much problem with the first quiz. And everything is pretty easy. I wanted to open the floor to see if there's any questions about homework.
I had a question about the homework.
Sure.
So when I submitted my assignment, it gave me the black screen. So I don't know if you're just going to open the black screen or download the file, open idle, and then use the file, I guess, and open that in idle, because it just gave me a black screen when I tried to like open it on my screen without using idle. So I was very confused with that.
Never, no. Always use idle. Okay? It's going to be graded in idle only.
Okay, so when you open the file and it gives you a black screen, do you just like save the file and then open idle and then you use it, or?
No. When you open that file, you're double clicking it, aren't you?
I think so. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Okay.
A PI file is an executable file. So what it does when you double click it, it thinks you want to run the program. It opens it up in the command window, runs it, prints the answer, and shuts down real quick, right?
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't do that either. It will come in idle. We will download it and we will run it in idle only. Yeah.
Professor?
Yeah.
I like to write stuff on my iPad. Is that acceptable for the quiz?
No. No.
So scratch paper only?
Scratch paper.
All right, just stick with old school then.
I mean, really? I mean, if you had your iPad, you could just have all the answers on the iPad and I'd never know, right? That's not fair to everybody else. But there's not that much scratching you need to do.
You know, we want cheat.
Pardon?
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, you know that we do not cheat. We are very, you know.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
we can cheat now, but in our later career, we won't be able to cheat.
Yeah. Somebody's got that back there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you're going to have a problem. When I've done this in the past, scratch paper has been fine. You're only going to have, you know, a few that will need that type of thing. And some you don't even need it at all. They're just straight terminology type stuff. Yeah. But anyway, any other questions about the homework? Any questions about any of the problems on the homework?
Hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My mic's not popping up, but I have a question about number 4.
Okay.
I'm just a little confused on the math or the formula I have to type in to get the tax.
Okay. It's not a fancy formula, so you don't have to worry about that. Let me open something up. Okay. Okay. So we had done one time, we had come in, you know, you're going to read income, no problem. Then we had done one where we said if income is less than or equal to 50,000. Okay. That you knew the tax was 0.01 times 50,000. We have that next section. If the income is greater than 50,000 and the income is less than 75,000, right? So if it falls within that group, you're going to have to calculate the first 50,000. You're going to have to add to it anything over, right? So that I'm just putting these extra in here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So if he's between 50,000 and 75,000, the first 50,000 are 1%, and then anything over 50,000 is at 2%. All right. Then if you come in the next one is the income is greater than 75,000.
You spelled ILF incorrectly.
Pardon?
You spelled ILF incorrectly.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. So this time the next bracket is between 75 and 100,000. So if he falls in there, I know that the tax is 1% on the first 50,000, right? The next 25,000 are at 2%. Right? That takes 75,000 of it right there. And whatever's remaining is at 3%. Does everybody see where this is going? Have to separate out each group. There's the 55,000 group, the up to 75,000. Then there's, if you're at 100, you're at the 50,000, and the next 25 is 2%, and then anything over that is 3%. All right. So as you go, so as you go up, then the next one is income greater than, and you have 100,000. And equal to 250. Now you have an even longer statement, right? So you get all of this. 50, the 25. The next bracket is what? 3% at 25. All right. So that gives you 50, 75, 100, and then anything over 250, right? Or I'm sorry, yeah. Anything between, sorry, that should have been another zero there. Yeah, anything between here, all right? So that gets you then, you have your 0.03 at 25, and then you have your plus 0.04 times income minus 100,000.
So where did you get this 25,000 from? Like when you did 0.02 times 25,000, 0.03 times 25,000?
Right there. 2% on the amount over 50 up to 75. That's 25,000.
But
Here's
for
25,000. Yeah.
But and then the line below that, the difference is not 25,000 though.
That's right. That's why this one turned out to be what? Minus, oh, sorry. Let me see, is it 100? Whatever, yeah. Yeah, I might have just typed it wrong. Okay. Yeah. So you just have to put in the right amount for what it's supposed to be. And I'm not going to do the other ones.
Okay.
I'll let y'all worry with the other ones, but that's what you want to do. The equation just gets a little longer as you go. Okay. Because you're grouping it into the groups that are specified here. Yeah. All right. Any other problems? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So how to save the program? Because when I'm saving the program, it is saved as Microsoft Word.
Oh, no. You must not be an idle. Are you an idle when you run write the program?
Yeah, I'm saving from idle, like when I go to the file and save as.
Yeah. Save as.
Homework 1.py.
Yeah. Don't say .py. Just say this. Idle pool, put .py on it.
So what I have to write? Like
Just homework 1. Homework 1. Save it, and it'll put .py on it for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm not doing homework 1 because I've already got one. I'll just do homework, ABC or something. Save it. And you can see that it saved it is .py.
Okay, so when I go to open the file, it will open as the idle?
If you're in idle, yes. So if I come here to open up anything that I've already written, right? Whatever these are, it'll open it up as a Py file. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else? No questions about anything, huh? I'll be putting up homework 2 this weekend. For those of you who are anxious to get going on the next one. Okay. I'll hang around for a little bit. I just wanted to work problems today. Office hours are at 11 if you still have more questions about homework and things like that. But I'll hang around a little bit here if you got questions. Otherwise, we're done, and we'll see you on Thursday to start reviewing for the quiz.
I still kind of don't know what I'm doing wrong because I'm only clicking once now and I'm trying to open it. I don't know if I could share my screen or whatever because it says download homework 1. I click it after it downloads and it opens in an exe file, executable file. So I think there's.
Well, where are you right now doing that? Are you in Canvas? Are you in just idle on your machine?
I'm in Canvas.
Okay, so you're trying to download your own file from Canvas?
Yes, so I kind of want to see how, I just want to make sure that it's not an executable file when you open it, so then I kind of, that makes sense.
Okay, so what's your last name?
Black, that's in the color,
Oh,
so it should be,
pardon?
Garrett Black, right?
Okay.
Like 4 down.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so here, when I do this, I have to go in and I have to say, I'm going to look at homework 1. I'm going to grade homework 1. And then I come over to you. I see it right there.
Okay. I want to make sure everything was good.
Yeah, you got it right. Homework 1.py. Yeah, within Canvas, it may not, if you just double click it, it may not do anything or it may do wrong or whatever. But yeah, it's there.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure everything was good to go and all that. So
Okay,
thank you.
no problem. Anybody else?
I have a question about the homework as well.
Yeah.
So every time I run it, it gets the right answer. It gets what you're looking for. It's just not as, I guess, fancy or exactly written the way you have it, but it does still get the right answer.
Exactly like mine or fancy.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure if it was like.
As long as you're not doing anything in advance that we haven't covered.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. No, it doesn't have to look like mine. Any other questions? Okay, well, I'll be in office hours in about 30 minutes if you need some more or anything or have questions you'd rather ask there. All right, we'll see you on Thursday.
See you later.
Thank you.